And these are some of the things that usually happens on the highway when people are riding their motorcycle on the highway and it suddenly stops. These are some of the things that usually cause the problem. So guys, I think this is a solution to a motorcycle if it refuses to start on time. So hello guys, welcome back to the channel. This is an AUTO-MECHA channel dedicated for motorcycle, or let me say generally automobile. So I am a mechanic. I usually work on motorcycles, the likes of CD110, Bajaj, CG125, lot of things, everything about motorcycle. In this channel, I will continue to unveil the secrets. As a mechanic, what are the secrets we use to solve motorcycle problem daily? So most especially in today's video, I will be explaining how you can diagnose your motorcycle to start on time, because when you bring out your motorcycle early in the morning from the store and you crank it once, I think you expect the motorcycle to answer once. The machine should just start immediately. But there are a lot of things. If your motorcycle did not start once you crank it once or twice, or let me say 5 times, this is always frustrating to our customer. So guys, if you are just new to this channel, I hope you subscribe to the channel, because a lot of secrets will be unveiled. So now let me talk about the secrets at which we use to diagnose a motorcycle to start on time, because it is always frustrating, like I said, when you have a motorcycle, most especially when it is new, or let me say when it is 1 year old, and you discover that the motorcycle refuses to answer you on time when you pick it. So let me now say the first thing we usually check is when you bring the motorcycle to our shop. I think the first thing we usually do is we check whether the motorcycle has light. What I mean by light is it has the ignition is on, and you know when you crank the machine, the coil actually bring lights. I think this is the first thing we usually check, because when a motorcycle refuses to bring lights, no matter what you do, if you kick it even though 100 times, the motorcycle will refuse to start. So the first thing we usually check is if the motorcycle brings light, if the coil is working well. And if you crank it and you discover that the coil is working well, it brings light. So I think the next step we check is the plug, the spark plug. Yes, we loosen the plug and check whether it has lights. When you check your spark plug, there are 3 types of lights that plug usually bring. We have the likes of white. This white color is a sign that the plug has expired. We have the likes of deep blue. This deep blue shows that the spark plug is okay. And we have yellow. This yellow is the plug is half okay and half spoiled. So I think it is advisable. Which one do you think is the best? I think it is when the plug has a color blue light. So these are some of the secrets we take a look whenever we actually loosen a plug and check whether it is in good condition or not. And when a plug has color blue, you should know that yes, whenever you crank the machine and if the engine is okay, no matter what, the engine will surely start. But when the light is in white, this is a sign that it seems the plug will die very soon. So the advice is to change. Yes, you change the plug. So that's what we do. So when you check the plug and you still discover that yes, the plug is okay, or you have checked it, or you have changed the plug, and still yet the motorcycle refuses to answer it. Another thing we check is whether there is a fuel in the tank, because a lot of things can happen. You might put fuel into the tank, but before the second day or before you get back to your machine, it has do overfloating. The petrol has poured away. So it is advisable to open the tank and check whether there's still fuel inside the tank. And when you check if there's fuel inside the tank, the next thing is to check the fuel pipe that comes out from fuel tap. This is something that people did not know. Yes, because most of the time people will continue to crank the machine. They will tell you that the plug, I just changed the plug is okay. The machine bring lights and there's fuel inside the tank. But whereas they don't check whether the fuel inside the tank actually goes directly to the carburetor. So it is very, very important to check, remove the fuel rail, that is the fuel pipe, remove it and check whether fuel actually comes out from the fuel tap. And there is a fuel tap bowl under the fuel tap. If you loosen it, sometimes there's a dirt inside this bowl contains in the petrol you have been buying since all this while that have been storing inside the tank. This dirt usually stored in this small bowl of the fuel tap. We usually loosen it and check whether it has full. If the dirty has gotten to the brim, I think what we do is we remove the dirt away so that the petrol can actually goes out directly from the fuel tap and through the fuel ray to the carburetor. So these are some of the things we usually check. What if the fuel did not go directly to the carburetor? So if you check it after you check the plug, after you check whether the motorcycle bring out lights, you check the plug is well okay, your tank has fuel, you get fuel inside the tank. And the next thing is to check whether the fuel actually goes out from the tank to the carburetor. So these are some of the steps we check whether these are some of the steps we check if motorcycle refuse to start. So, and at the end of the day, after you check everything, if fuel actually comes out from the tank, then the last result we go to is the carburetor. We go to the carburetor and open it, check two jets. There is a main jet and there is a pilot jet. These two jets is very, very important. The two of them must not be blocked. If they are blocked, there's no way air and fuel mixture will not go out from the carburetor to the cylinder. So we usually losing these two jets and blown it away. I think it is advisable to use air to blow it out. Most of the times we might see the likes of cotton wool inside this jet. So it is advisable to use a very tiny object like a wire, just very tiny wire that is strong, just to remove the dirt outside these two jets. So once it is free, you can tighten it back and check the fuel level in the fuel in the carburetor bowl. Check the fuel level. I think this is very, very important. So I think the advice I'm going to give you guys based on the carburetor settings is to give it to a responsible and as somebody that you trust as a mechanic. You should be able to have your own mechanic that you can give your motorcycle to check the carburetor, because carburetor settings is very, very important. If the machine is okay, even though if it is a new machine, if the carburetor is not well set, believe me, your motorcycle will not run very well. Yes, it will not run very well, and this can actually damage the engine. So it is very, very important. The carburetor, you give it to people that knows how to set it very well. We mechanic, we check the carburetor, we set the settings, the pilot jet, the main jet, also the screw outside the carburetor. We set everything well so that it will run very smoothly and the sound will be cool. Yes, it will be cool. So these are some of the steps we need to check if motorcycle refuse to start. I think the first one is to check whether the motorcycle brings lights. If it brings lights, the next steps is to check the plug. If the plug is not okay, we change it, and if it is okay, then we move to check whether there is fuel in the tank. And also, if there's fuel in the tank, the next step is to check if the fuel from the tank actually goes out from the fuel tap to the carburetor. So if this actually works well, the last result is to go and check the carburetor settings and check some of the jets inside the carburetor. So I think these are some of the tips I just said I should share with you guys. Today, if your motorcycle refuses to start on time, if it refuses to answer you on time, and these are some of the things that usually happens on the highway when people are riding their motorcycle on the highway and it suddenly stops. These are some of the things that usually cause the problem. So guys, I think this is a solution to a motorcycle if it refuses to start on time. So guys, if you find this video very helpful, I hope you subscribe to the channel and help us grow so that yes, I can keep unveiling the secret and this problem, the solution of a motorcycle to you guys. So thank you guys for your time and see you next time. See you in the next video. Thank you guys.